For the first time in history, surfing will be in the Olympic Games. 28 of the 40 spots have been filled. 12 golden tickets are up for grabs. 7 for women and 5 for men. 256 athletes from 51 competing nations will chase Olympic qualification. The road to Tokyo heats up as surfing's heavyweights gather in El Tunco, El Salvador. Who will keep their Olympic dreams alive and who will go home? This is the 2021 Surf City El Salvador ISA World Surfing Games. This is a better world through surfing. Welcome to beautiful Surf City, El Salvador. El Salvador is known for the world-class waves that break along its coastline year-long. The tropical climate and large offering of waves for all skill levels have been calling to visitors from around the globe. El Salvador's warm, gentle people and rich culture have opened their arms to the world, receiving the top national surfing teams to host the 2021 edition of the World Surfing Games, surfing's final Olympic qualifier for Tokyo 2020. The event will run across 2 of the country's top venues, the long, reeling point break of El Sunsal and the punchy peaks of La Bocana, just a kilometer down the coast. Surfing history will be made in El Salvador as the International Surfing Association crowns world team champions and solidifies the first wave of Olympic surfers. The 2021 Surf City El Salvador ISA World Surfing Games kicked off with the opening ceremony and Sands of the World ceremony. President of the ISA, Fernando Aguirre, explains the importance of this event to the World Surfing Games over the years.
The world needs the peoples of the world to come together. And here, at the surfing ISA competitions, it's the United Nations of Surfing.
The Sands of the World was devised as a symbol of bringing the countries of the world together in peace through surfing. The ultimate spirit of that will be when those 40 male and female surfers walk with their national teams in the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games. This is watched by 3-4 billion people. And now you're parading, you got your flag, your country's call, a person with a flag goes up on stage, a person with a sign goes up on stage, the whole world is looking at you, and you pour the sand, you wave your flag, you make your haka if you're a Kiwi, you do whatever, you wear your special hats or clothing or your green blazer if you're a South African. We got an amazing mix of countries. Here you got Moroccans and Israeli. One Moroccan, one Israeli qualifying at the same time, going up on stage to pour the sand. We got Irish and English. And you see all of that happening, and it's just, for me, it's the most emotional time.
Hello, everybody. President of the International Surfing Association, our friend Fernando R. Members of the government cabinet, esteemed surfers participating in the games. A very short time ago, we decided that El Salvador had to build a new future. And as strange as it sounds, we decided that surf will be part of that destiny. But this task of making El Salvador a world-class surfing destination is probably one of the few things we cannot do by ourselves. We need your help. We need you to tell the story about how the people treated you, the friendliness, the weather, the warm water, but most of all, the vibes. Enjoy our waves, ride them, and have a blast. God bless you all.
"51 competing nations gathered at the shores of El Salvador to kick off Day 1 action. Surfers will be judged based on commitment, degree of difficulty, innovation, progression and speed, power and flow on the wave. The top 2 waves count towards the surfer's heat total. The top 2 surfers will advance through the heat. Those who lose in the main rounds will move down into the repechage rounds, where they will compete for another chance to stay in the competition. A world-class level of surfing was put on display as the athletes chased their chances at the 12 open slots for Tokyo.
Surfing is going to be for the first time in the Olympic Games in Tokyo, but the second time is going to be exactly in the opposite end of the world, in Tahiti. Baseball, softball, and karate will not be in Paris 2024 Games. Surfing, skateboarding, and sport climbing will be. And the 2028 Games, where are they going to be? In LA. And what is the official sport of the state of California? Surfing. We're only selected for Tokyo, but already confirmed for Paris, and very likely we're going to be in 28 in California, in Los Angeles. And in 32? What is the front runner for 32? Brisbane, Gold Coast, Australia.
Before we can go to Tokyo, the remaining qualification slots needed to be awarded. Here is how qualification works. There is a total of 40 surfers, 20 men and 20 women, with only 2 surfers per gender per country. There are 4 hierarchy levels of qualification in order of priority. 2019 World Surf League final rankings. 18 athletes have already qualified through the WSL. The 2021 Surf City El Salvador ISA World Surfing Games is set to complete surfing's Olympic qualification for Tokyo 2020. The 2019 World Surfing Games. 8 athletes have provisionally qualified through this event from 4 different continents. Results from the 2021 event could change these qualifications. 2 spots were also awarded through the 2019 Pan Am Games. With 2 podiums running simultaneously, the action was non-stop. The men kicked off the competition at La Bocana, and the women riding the right point break of El Sunsal.
Wow, Gabriel Medina, what a way to begin.
Now Daniela Rosas, one of the
Big
best turns we've seen of the heat so far. This is more what we're used to seeing from Ramsey. Bam, you got it, a huge backside snap. Known for his incredible backhand growing up in the long right-hand point breaks of Morocco. Big speed snap there. Most likely, just judging on the first turn alone, will drop a huge score there. That is his moneymaker, that layback jam.
Defending 2019 Men's ISA World Surfing Games champion Ítalo Ferreira of Brazil started off his title defense with the highest heat total of the day.
He's going to work this to the inside. Look at that. He's going to let that one fly. Perfect landing.
The defending 2019 Women's champion Peru's Sophia Mulanovic kicked off her campaign for Olympic qualification strong. Her win in Miyazaki was a pivotal moment in her life. Having not qualified through that event despite winning gold, Sophia's hopes rested solely on this event to make it to Tokyo.
Yes, 2019 was like a dream for me, you know, the whole contest. I felt super connected with the ocean. I just felt super relaxed. You know, I haven't really competed with all the girls that I competed with forever, like for so long, you know. So I was just really excited to see them, you know. They're my idols. So I was just happy to be there. Also because I had the news that I was gonna become a mom 2 weeks before going to Japan. So it just kind of changed all my mindset, you know. I was just like, oh my God, like I'm just gonna surf, and like, to be honest, I was totally careless, you know. All I cared was like about you know, like all this new chapter of my life coming up, you know, my son and all these things. So I think that really, you know, took all the pressure out of me, and things started happening, and then I was in the final and I was like, whoa. And then, I don't know, I just won it. It was a crazy experience, you know? Yeah, I felt really good and connected and happy. I think happiness was the special ingredient. Yes, but yeah, for sure it's a bummer for me, you know, to win a contest like that and not qualify. But I mean, I still have a chance, I have an opportunity, and that's good enough.
Mulanovic advanced through her main event round 1 heat in first with 13.16 points and would continue on chasing her qualification. French powerhouse surfer Jeremy Flores, who had already qualified for the Olympics through the World Surf League Championship Tour, advances on in the main round men's heats. Growing up on Reunion Island and Madagascar, his life has been about the ocean, and the Olympics is a dream come true.
When I heard surfing was in the Olympics, it was kind of like, wow, it's crazy, because I always loved watching the Olympics. But I've never actually dreamed of being in the Olympic, because surfing wasn't an Olympic sport. It's a really proud moment to be qualified for the Olympic, because it's like everything you've done in your life, the sacrifice your family did. It's more of a proud moment for my whole community than myself. Of course, I'm proud to be in an Olympic, but it's kind of like I represent like a whole community being an Olympian. It is the biggest sport event in the world, so being part of that, no matter what happens, you know, I feel like I'm part of history.
Day 2 kicks off with men's main heats at La Bocana, while the women wrap up round 1 at El Sunsal. The women will get their first chance to compete at La Bocana later in the day. Filipe Toledo had a strong showing for Team Brazil, complementing the standout performances on Sunday from his teammates Gabriel Medina, Ítalo Ferreira, and Tatiana Weston-Webb. El Salvador's hero, Brian Perez, had his whole country behind him as he represented El Salvador in and out of the water. The Pan Am bronze medalist and Olympic hopeful advanced easily through men's round 2 with a heat total of 14.16.
Surf is first time in the Olympics this time, and then that's my dream, that's the goal, and yeah, for me it's everything. Like, I training a lot for this, and hopefully me and other people from El Salvador can go, and yeah, we can go together and have fun in the Olympics.
Later in the men's main round, Germany's Leon Glatzer stuns in a second-place finish in his heat, advancing along with Italy's Leonardo Fioravanti. Both men were vying for the 5 remaining men's qualification slots. Also advancing in the competition was Peru's Miguel Tudela, Mexico's Alan Cleland, and Chilean Manuel Selman, who all came to make a statement and take their country to Tokyo.
Selman representing Team Chile, Manuel, a WSL qualifying series grinder. Miguel Tudela put this guy in waves from 1 feet to 50 feet, and he will perform, as you can clearly see here. Miguel Tudela, strong finish.
The women put on impressive performances in the main round throughout the afternoon in a building swell arriving to El Salvador. With a record 121 women competing from all continents of the globe, the event showcased the growth that women's surfing has experienced in recent years and put their talent on display. Sally Fitzgibbons, who qualified for Tokyo through the WSL CT in 2019, was surfing for individual and team gold. She's already been to an Olympic Games, the Youth Olympic Games for track and field.
I love my running. For me, running was more suited to my personality and my drive of like that there's a start line and a finish line and everything in between kind of makes sense. Like you're training, you do it and you push yourself, and it's really hard, but it's really rewarding because you kind of see like the result in these PBs or going to the Youth Olympics to get some gold medals there. To be able to kind of, you know, rise all the way to that top tier and have the opportunity to run against some of the world's best was, yeah, it was special.
Athletes from 51 nations continued their quest to the podium. Some kept their dreams alive, and some headed home. The ISA event drew people from places around the globe most people would never think to be surfing destinations.
Here goes Anat Leilor, Team Israel, big turn to start. I like the patience there, waiting for this wave to open up.
Provisionally qualified athlete from Israel, Anat Leilor, is one of those stories.
I grew up in Tel Aviv. The surfing here is not that great. I live in a sea compared to an ocean, and a sea is almost like a puddle next to a pool, I think. Waves are not really consistent, and it's really hard to be an excellent surfer next to all the world champions and all the other contestants. So I just try to keep pushing harder and harder, even though I don't have the condition that they have. When I started surfing, I kind of started by myself, and then my brother came along, and then my sister, she's 2 years younger than me. She saw surfing, and of course she wanted to come as well. So since then, we kind of pushed each other to be better. If it was my sister doing this turn, I wanted to do that turn. And surfing in the water, it was kind of crowded, but it was only men around. I was the only woman or kid, I was a young girl surfing in the lineup.
Day 3 saw a strong swell grace the coast to greet the main event heats and the first elimination repechage round so far in the competition. The main men's heats kicked off the day at La Bocana with impressive performances. Team Japan cruised through with all 3 men winning their heats, putting points on the board towards Team Gold and keeping Olympic hopes alive for Hiroto Ohara and Shun Murakami.
Murakami now playing some defense, trying to add to his total. Quick snap there, getting down the line, looking for the section he wants. Nice solid turn to finish that wave.
As we have Hiroto Ohara up and riding on his backside, flying down the line, massive hook under the lip, and he'll ride out clean.
The hometown hero, Brian Perez, narrowly missed out on a buzzer-beater wave to advance and ended up falling to repechage. Perez now has to face elimination rounds.
Gonna go straight up, nice, good turn there, super smooth, still some good face to work with, hits another one but goes down.
So really tricky right now, it's a little bigger from here, but we still on and repechage. Still focused, still motivated, and yeah, still stoked and can't wait to do it next week and show mixed surfing.
Mexico's 2017 gold medalist Johnny Corso and Argentina's 2-time gold medalist Leandro Osuna both avoided elimination with convincing performances in the repechage rounds.
Johnny Corso now, big resume of competitive surfing victories. Johnny Corso just putting together a great solid wave. Look at this wedge peak from the outside. Love the way Johnny Corso surfs.
Costa Rica's Leilani McGonigal continued strong in the main event. Aside from qualifying for Tokyo, McGonigal has deeper reasons to go for an Olympic slot.
Winning is fun, and I feel like I'm surfing for a greater purpose in this event. I was really close friends with Catherine Diaz that passed away, and she was a really important person to me, and so it would be I think even a bigger honor than to go to the Olympics for my country, to qualify for her and win for her at her home. I definitely am surfing with her by my side and in my heart.
Yolanda, smacks it off the top with vengeance. Another one under the lip, and does she come away? She comes away with that. Are you kidding me?
That was amazing.
Portugal's throwing rocks on the beach. It's going crazy out here.
Portugal's Yolanda Sequeira neared perfection with 9.6, putting her first place in the heat, advancing with Stephanie Gilmore.
Stephanie Gilmore, smooth off the top turn there. She sets that back up with another smooth turn. Gets into that white water, keeps that speed going. Here it is, one more late hit. Does she come away with this one?
Frances Paulina-Do, the 2017 ISA World Surfing Games Women's Champion, kept her Olympic dreams alive by continuing on to the women's main event. She was also looking for a second gold medal.
I also actually have a lot of experience in the ISAs. I've been doing the ISAs since I was 13. And I love this event. I feel really lucky actually with the year we had to be able to compete again and represent my country, so I'm just having fun.
The fourth day of competition was defined by surprise upsets and powerful surfing through a strong swell at La Bocana and El Sunsal. The Olympic dreams of defending world champion Sophia Mulanovic from Peru came to an end as she exited the event early in round 3 of repechage.
Yes, happy I got the chance to do it once again, and not the best result, but still happy to be here.
Muro Suzuki, is she going to pull it off? She pulls it off on the inside.
Other leading hopefuls such as Japan's Amuro Suzuki and Mahina Maeda and Barbados' Chelsea Tuoc successfully continued their quests toward Olympic qualification. Italian Leonardo Fioravanti is still chasing qualification and now has to fight his way back through the repechage rounds.
Leonardo Fioravanti now. Love the flow, love the power. There you see, perfectly placed on a tough wave to read.
When surfing got announced into the Olympics, it was so exciting. You know, it opened surfing to a whole new world. You know, surfing is a relatively small sport. And now, I think in the next 12 months, it's really gonna grow. It's gonna hit so many different countries that have never even heard of surfing. And, you know, Italy in a way is, when you go to Italy, people talk about soccer, they talk about MotoGP, Formula One. Surfing isn't very common in Italy, and for me it would be a dream come true to go to the Olympics.
Senegal's Hassan Mbengue was not able to advance past repechage round 2. He let his emotions pour out after his heat, not just because of his disappointment, but because of his gratitude to be competing in the event and his hope for African surfing.
He's very happy to represent Senegal. He said it's awesome, and it's like he's really happy to be here and doing this for the country. We wanted to make it to the next round because we know we can do it, so it's always a bit frustrating. Thanking the coaches a lot, so they are doing everything they can, and like we are really grateful for that.
While the repechage rounds provide a longer, harder road to a medal and possibly an Olympic qualification, all eyes would be on the competition moving into day 5. Three days remain to finalize Olympic qualification for the remaining 12 spots and crown the ISA World Surfing Games gold medalists.
Big bash!
There's a wind and it's blowing. There's a current that's
El Salvador's Brian Perez remained the final Olympic hope for the host nation. Perez advanced through 2 repechage rounds to keep the dreams of an entire country alive.
El Salvador on his shoulders right now. You can count that. Hands in the air.
Isauro Elizondo looked to become Panama's first Olympic surfer. His strong surfing remained unbeaten in the main event, keeping the doors open for him to become the first Panamanian surfer to qualify for Tokyo 2020. Aside from the Olympic hopefuls, the fifth day of competition featured strong performances from surfers who had provisionally qualified via the 2019 ISA World Surfing Games and Lima 2019 Pan American Games. Morocco's Ramzi Bouhiam and Peru's Luca Messinas continued their quest for individual gold. Olympic dreams had come to an end for some, including Mexico's powerhouse and ISA gold medalist, Johnny Corzo. For the women, Daniela Rosas, who earned provisional qualification through the Pan Am Games in 2019, looked to add ISA individual gold to her list of accomplishments. She cruised through her heat and on to the next round.
My first goal is to get to the 7 spots that the ISA gave. So yeah, I'm really happy to make my heat and be right now in round 5. So yeah, just really happy.
Japan's Shino Matsuda, who earned a provisional continental qualification slot at the 2019 ISA World Surfing Games, bowed out of the event in the repechage rounds. That put her in a position where her two teammates, Amuro Tsutsuki and Mahina Maeda, could potentially qualify in the 2021 World Surfing Games and take precedence over her provisional slot. The race for Team Gold Surfing World Champion narrowed. After 5 days of competition, just 3 teams remain, with 5 surfers remaining in the event: France, Japan, and Peru. Each team has surfers hungry for Olympic qualification. Day 6 brought the reality that the Olympic qualification slots were within reach. 16 women remained, battling for 7 Olympic slots. 17 men remained for 5 Olympic slots. France and Japan held the lead in team ranking with 2 days of competition remaining. The final weekend of competition got underway. For the 16 women who remained in the main event, only 13 were eligible for 7 Olympic slots. 3 of the 16 surfers would not factor into qualification. Sally Fitzgibbons and Stephanie Gilmore had already qualified to the 2019 WSL Championship Tour, the top event in the qualification hierarchy. USA's Alyssa Spencer could not qualify because her country had already reached their quota of 2 women in Carissa Moore and Caroline Marks. For the men, 12 of the remaining 17 surfers were aiming for the 5 qualification spots. 4 of the surfers left in the draw, Owen Wright of Australia, Kanoe Igarashi of Japan, and Jeremy Flores and Michel Perez of France, had already qualified by the 2019 WSL Championship Tour. Hometown hero Brian Perez remained El Salvador's final hope. He continued his graceful, fluid surfing, passing through and eliminating Italy's Leonardo Fioravanti and Indonesia's Rio Waida. Team Japan found themselves in a strong position for Team Gold, with 5 of their 6 surfers remaining in the event. The last qualification spot for Japan could come down to 2 teammates battling it out in Hiroto Ohara and Shun Murakami. These 2 teammates faced off in a battle with Olympic implications in the first heat of the day. Murakami, who held a provisional slot earned at the 2019 ISA World Surfing Games, could lose his spot if Ohara were to qualify ahead of him in the event. Today, both surfers advanced through to the main event, where Ohara found himself in another heat with teammate Kanoe Igarashi.
It's
something weird, but we're coming for a gold medal for the team. And if me, Shin, Kanoa all made a final, maybe Team Japan probably is gonna get a gold medal. Still a couple more heats to go to final, so we just keep it up. Still trying to get through the heats. Yeah, I wanna be in the Olympic and I wanna surf in front of my friends, families. So yeah, I just try my best and then we'll see.
Chile's Olympic hopeful Manuel Selman earned the first men's 9-point ride on a wave that Owen Wright let go and put on a show in the repechage rounds.
Driving into his backhand.
And he's going to try to work back in front of this section, gets back in front of it. A very good wave for Selman. Look at that, big hit right there, breaking the fins loose. It's Selman taking advantage of that right here, right now.
Heading into the final stretch, Team France led in overall points with Japan trailing by only 60 points. Japan held a slight advantage over France with 4 of their 5 surfers still unbeaten in the main event versus 3 for France. Australia, Portugal, and Peru were all vying for copper and bronze. Day 7 had the biggest qualification opportunities in the competition. Whose Olympic dreams will come true and who would go home? There were 13 men at the start of the day, 7 that were eligible to qualify for only 5 spots. 15 women had the chance to compete for 7 spots. Here are the women eligible for Olympic qualification. The first heat of the day with qualification implications was the women's main event, round 5. This heat had Portuguese teammates Teresa Bonvalot and Yolanda Sequeira matched up against France's Paulina Do and Japan's Mahina Maeda, all eligible and vying for Olympic slots.
And now we look to Paulina Do from France. Yolanda's going to get one under priority here on the backhand.
As we see Teresa driving into that first turn, nice big swooping carve to start off with.
Utilizing strategy and teamwork, the Portuguese were able to fend off their competitors to claim 2 Olympic spots for their country. The other 2 women fell to the repechage rounds and would surf later in the day to stay in the hunt.
It feels amazing, 2 first spots taken to Portugal. It's an amazing feeling and I'm super happy, and I mean Portugal is ripping and let's go, and I'm super stoked for Tokyo.
It was just like, by the end of the heat, if one of us was comfortable, the other one would help out, and Teresa was more comfortable than me, so she came to assist me and trying to stop any other girl get a good score to overcome me. I couldn't ask more. I'm over the moon.
With 2 of the 7 spots taken, the next 5 Olympians would be determined by the next women's main and repechage rounds.
Leilani on this one right now. In that number 2 spot, smacks it off the top there. Gonna work it to the inside. Here's the last little end piece, smacks it again right there. Leilani doing her best right there, and it looks like that might be enough, isn't it? Oh, wow, what an amazing, there it is. It's now official. There you go. She gets that second spot, representing Costa Rica in Tokyo. How cool is that?
The hard work paid off as McGonigal advanced into the women's main event final along with Peru's Daniela Rosas, securing her slot to compete in Tokyo 2020 alongside teammate Brisa Hennessy. Given that the Lima 2019 Pan American Games gold medalist Daniela Rosas earned qualification through the 2021 World Surfing Games, a higher priority event, the Pan American Games slot had been reallocated to the silver medalist in the event, which was Dominique Barona of Ecuador. Only 3 spots remained moving into the women's repechage rounds.
And here we go, Mahina Maeda She's charging hard to potentially fill that second spot on Team Japan for the women. Driving down the line. Good section to work with in here. Nice closeout turn. Feeling the passion there. Surfer in red, Mahina Maeda.
Mahina Maeda made her heat, and that was enough to earn her a spot at the Olympic Games.
Yeah, first thing I did was call the most important people around me and stuff, and all of them were completely speechless, and they were all crying. And I started crying as well. But I'm just super stoked for me and then the whole team and all the people who are qualifying.
As we see, this is live action. The Japanese surfer up and riding, Chris.
Moto Suzuki has been putting in the hard work.
Mahina's teammate, Amuro Suzuki, was still battling for an Olympic spot. While she lost in the repechage round 8 and was out of competition, her heat total was just enough to get her a qualifying Olympic spot as well.
Pauline Ado looking very strong.
Great choice of wave. That inside section running away from her, so just 2 turns on the outside.
Pauline Ado, who blasted off the top there, nicely done. The judges now have some work cut out for them. So you're saying we've got another Olympian. Kali Carranza. Pauline Ado gets the warm embrace from Fernando Aguirre, the president of the ISA, who has the enviable job of telling Pauline Ado, you are going to be an Olympic surfer. What a moment for our sport.
In a stroke of fate, the 2019 ISA World Surfing Games gold medalist Sophia Mulanovic of Peru found her way into the Olympic Games after falling out of the event earlier this week. Since Japan qualified 2 women at the 2021 World Surfing Games, the provisional slot earned by Japan's Shiro Matsuda at the 2019 World Surfing Games needed to be reallocated to the next eligible surfer in the event, which was Sophia. Day 7 qualified all women's Olympic slots, which were already claimed by Portugal's Teresa Bonvalot and Yolanda Sequeira, Costa Rica's Leilani McGonigal, Peru's Daniela Rosas, Japan's Mahina Maeda and Amuro Suzuki, and France's Pauline Ado. The men's round on day 7 were full of energy as Olympic qualification finally became possible. Heat 2 of the men's repechage saw 2 Peruvians and El Salvador's town hero Brian Perez battle it out to stay in the competition.
As we see Miguel Tudela up and riding once again.
On a speedy left-hander, up into a beautiful arcing turn. Throwing the tail out, hoping for the big finish. He gets it. I like that right there. Okay, I got it. Here we go. La Máquina. Luca Macinas, beautiful snapping turn. Goes into a second. Trying to finish. The wave tries with everything it has to throw him off his board. He maintains his composure. A national hero has taken to the water. Brian Perez representing El Salvador. El Salvadorian national champion Brian Perez now winding up on his backhand. Beautiful start. Through to this mid portion of the wave. One more setup turn, looking for a 5.53. Big finish there. Has room for 1, 2 more turns.
Clutch.
Another slam on the inside section. Brian Perez representing our...
With the weight of a nation behind him and doing it in memory of the late Catherine Diaz, Perez had put on a courageous performance throughout the whole event, representing his country with pride and humility. Unfortunately, the Olympic run came to an end for this Pan Am bronze medalist, but the future is bright for this up-and-coming 21-year-old.
Leon Glatzer.
Leon Glatzer, sorry. Look
Looks
at this,
like
the
Owen.
similarity in style, and that is a huge compliment to this surfer representing Team Germany, lives and trains in Costa Rica. This is the biggest heat of Leon Glatzer's life.
Yes.
This is the heat that could change everything for this young surfer. Here we go, Leon Glatzer pulling up, going to the air, goes for the huge
goodness.
corrupt flip, double rail grab, alley-oop air. That right there was the best air we've seen of this entire contest.
The first men's slot of the day was earned by the German-born but Costa Rican-raised Leon Glatzer. Glatzer put his aerials on display to rise above the competition and earn his ticket to Tokyo as the first male to qualify.
At the moment, it's kind of unreal still. I think it has to sink in definitely, but definitely making history. Man, we've put in so much work with the whole German team. I think finally I can just relax my emotions and just go to sleep well, because I haven't been sleeping well at all. I'm just gonna have fun tomorrow. I think I'm just gonna enjoy the moment and have the best time of my life.
My name is Martin Waltz. I'm the high performance manager and sport psychologist from the German Surfing Association. I mean, you have to imagine, like, nothing in sports happens without cognition. It's not just about the action, it's the action coupled with the cognitive and the emotional side of things. You have to imagine, like, you have to surf out of your heart, but you have to use your head with it. So finding this balance, and then that you can really put all your inner patterns, your inner creativity. I mean, surfing is still the mix of art and sports, and it's like an artist, you know. A blues artist has to feel it, what the jammer is doing, what the drummer is doing, what the bass guitarist is doing. So and so you have to bring the best out of you and bring it all together. And this is what actually the job from the performance psychologist or sport psychologist is. Yeah.
The following men's heat was set to qualify the top 2 men, while the third place finisher would face a tiebreaker with Chile's Manuel Selman, who earned third in the previous heat. Luca Mesinas and Miguel Tudela demonstrated the strength of Peruvian surfing to the world and advanced on in the event to secure their slots.
Surfing now for Team Peru, an Olympic qualifier, Luca Mesinas.
The fourth men's qualification slot would be determined by Indonesia's Ketut Agus. Needing more than a 10-7-3 heat total to overcome the tiebreaker with Selman, Agus fell on his final wave, unable to attain the needed score. Agus's heat total of 10.13 was not enough, awarding the slot to Chile's Manuel Selman. After battling through repechage, he comes out victorious. Luca Mesinas winning his heat solidified him a top 5 position, which meant his provisional qualification from winning the Pan Am Games now went to his good friend Leandro Osuna of Argentina for a second place finish at the Pan Am Games.
It's so cool. I just, in one heat, 4 of my best friends, we all qualified to go to the Olympics. Like, that makes my day. More than me just qualifying, having to go with my friends, like, that I grew up surfing with for the last 15 years, traveling. And thanks to them, Lele and I qualified. That's just, it's unreal. I'm so happy. I'm so stoked.
There was one spot left. Hiroto Ohara needed to advance to keep his Olympic hopes alive and continue on to secure his spot. 4 of the 5 men's slots were earned by Germany's Leon Glatzer, Peru's Luca Mesinas, and Miguel Tudela, and Chile's Manuel Selman. The one men's slot left up for grabs would be decided by 2 surfers tomorrow during competition. Japan's Hiroto Ohara and Shun Murakami would need to battle it out for the last spot. Both have advanced far enough to make it to finals day. Murakami in the main event and Ohara in the repechage. Given that the 2 Japanese men, Murakami and Ohara, are competing to fill Japan's final male slot, that means that the 2019 continental slot earned by Murakami at the 2019 World Surfing Games would be reallocated to the next eligible Asian surfer, which in this case is Indonesia's Rio Waida. Heading into the final day of competition, Japan had placed themselves in position to strike for Team Gold. At the end of day 7, 39 of the 40 Olympic surfers had officially been confirmed for surfing's Olympic debut next month at Tokyo 2020. The 40 qualified surfers will hail from 17 different countries, a display of the universality of the sport that has been a central part of the ISA's mission to make a better world through surfing. For the final day of competition, 39 of the 40 total Olympic spots had been determined. Only one spot remains for the men. The competition began in the men's repechage final between two teammates, Hiroto Ohara and Shun Murakami of Japan. With one spot up for grabs, this heat determines who punched their ticket to Tokyo and who went home. A heat with tough competition. The two Japanese teammates were up against Joan Duroux from France and Germany's Leon Glatzer, who had already qualified the day before. Germany's Leon Glatzer came in ready to shake up the competitive playing field and let loose to earn the highest heat total of the event after learning that he had earned his slot for Tokyo 2020 on Saturday.
As we see the German up and riding.
The wind-up, the springs, activated. Leon Glatzer is on a roll, and we love to see it. Team Germany on the beach celebrating this young Olympian.
He surfed like an Olympian, with his signature aerials earning a near-perfect 18.46 heat total. He didn't advance through the round, but he gave the competitors a run for their money. Ohara marked two waves in excellent range, including a 9-point ride, moving him to the men's finals and securing his slot to Tokyo. Unfortunately, teammate Murakami doesn't get the scores to advance and is out of competition. He would have to wait 3 more years to make his journey towards the rings. To crown the women's medalists of the day, the women's grand final took to the water featuring 4 Olympic surfers. Fitzgibbons, who qualified via the 2019 World Surf League Championship Tour, squared off against 3 surfers who had earned their qualification on Saturday through the 2021 World Surfing Games: Portugal's Yolanda Sequeira and Teresa Bonvalot, and Peru's Daniela Rosas.
The yellow right now, Sally Fitzgibbon, the legend, up and riding on this one. There's a nice, great turn there. Super sharp and tight. Sally Fitzgibbon, so strong, and she's going to Tokyo.
And you know what I think we're starting to see out of Sally Fitzgibbons? That potential for an Olympic gold medal.
Australia's Sally Fitzgibbons became the first surfer to win 3 individual ISA World Surfing Games gold medals.
It's just an unreal platform to really test your mental strength. It's a great runway. We're heading into Tokyo, just competing and seeing all the Olympians now. They're all locked in their spots, and being on the World Tour, we don't get to surf against a lot of the other Olympians. So it's just good practice and time bonding as a team, and it's going to be the ultimate pressure cooker over there in Tokyo. But I feel like I put the work in, and I'm just going to let everything take its place.
Also making the podium were 3 other Olympic qualified athletes: Yolanda Sequeira and Teresa Bonvalot from Portugal, and Daniela Rosas from Peru. Japan and France battled it out in the men's final, both for individual and team medals. Going into the heat, it was a near tie between France and Japan for team gold. This heat would determine who would be going home on top of the podium. The men's grand final featured some of surfing's top talent and provided a preview for their surfing to come at Tokyo 2020. Jeremy Flores and Joan Duroux of France against Hiroto Ohara and Kanoa Igarashi of Japan would not only determine the men's medalists, but the overall team ranking.
And it's just good, clean, powerful surfing like that. That's got him there. Now he throws in.
Duroux utilized the strategy of patience, only catching 3 waves in the heat, but that's all he needed to post a 14.94 heat total.
ISA gold medalist representing Team France, Joan Duroux, after surfing through 13 plus tough, competitive heat.
Japan's Kanoe Igarashi answered with high-performance maneuvers, but it didn't prove to be enough for gold, placing him on the podium for silver. Jeremy's bronze was enough to propel France into first place in the overall team standings. Led by an individual gold medal from Joan Duroux and a bronze medal from Jeremy Flores, Team France surpassed silver medal Team Japan in the final heat of the day to emerge victorious among the 51-nation field.
Before we honor our champions, I would like to present the ISA song. It's about thanking with love the oceans and our planet that are the ones that allow us to have so many happy moments in our life, riding waves.
Here are surfing's first ever Olympians, 20 men and 20 women on their way to Tokyo. At the closing ceremony, the ISA brought all the Olympians in attendance to the stage to recognize their historic achievements in becoming the first ever Olympic surfers. ISA President Fernando Aguirre presented each qualifier with a commemorative trophy and recognized the strong commitment and support of the government of El Salvador. The 2021 Surf City El Salvador ISA World Surfing Games marked the end of the qualification system for surfing in Tokyo 2020. All 40 athletes have qualified and represent 17 different countries, showing the global reach and appeal of surfing. Now, surfing has set its sights on Tokyo and the debut of an Olympic sport on the Olympic stage. Next stop, Tokyo 2020.